so it's being recorded. And so you'll be able to see this webinar on our HR webpage later today. Each of the presenters that are participating with us today will make a brief presentation, and then following that, they will open the session for questions. So with that, I will get started. I have with me today representing AFLAC, one of our newer vendors in the town of Bridgewater, Michael Tortolani. Did I get that right, Michael?
Tortolani, close enough.
Tortolani. My apologies.
Well, it's better. Usually you hear tortellini, so we'll.
Well, Michael has some great information for us, so I will turn the session over to you.
Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, so as Kimberly alluded to, AFLAC's fairly new to Bridgewater, and a lot of people don't know that we are available. You know, I know you had a presentation earlier with Colonial. We're just another option for people. For employees. Obviously, we're in most townships and municipalities throughout the state of Massachusetts, very well received. Eventually, you know, as the years go on, we'll become more popular with Bridgewater as well. I don't know how many, one thing I do want to say is, I think everyone's on mute currently, but I'm going to open up to questioning pretty soon, only because I love questions. I think that's kind of what drives the meeting, but basically a real quick introduction with first of all, about myself. I have been with AFLAC for over 13 years. I actually was a district coordinator, and then I stepped down, and now I'm an agent helping policyholders, which is what I really like to do. I think it's important when you pick a voluntary plan that you also get the agent that works with you on that plan. So in other words, it's not one of these, you get a plan and then it's an 800 number. With us and with me, I actually have a team. I have people in Florida that handle all the admin, as well as people here in Massachusetts. So you're getting a complete team when you come on board with us. So it's not just the product. And I think that's important because some companies will just kind of, they won't be there for you the entire time. And I can promise you that if you text, call, email, we will get back to you within the hour. And I think that's just what it's all about, is the service. So that's enough about me. AFLAC, for those of you that don't know AFLAC, obviously we have 97% name recognition. We're more popular than the Colonel on Kentucky Fried Chicken. Everyone knows the duck. So we've been around actually since the 1950s. Hard to believe, but we really didn't get into Massachusetts until about 18, 19 years ago. So we're actually still in the insurance world in Massachusetts, fairly new compared to companies that have been around for 100 years as far as in Massachusetts. So basically, what we do is we give you cash if you get sick or hurt. That's what people say, what is AFLAC? We give you cash if you get sick or hurt. So I just want to go through a quick presentation, and then I'll do a quick opening up to questions and work it from there. So obviously AFLAC's been around since the 1950s. You know, a lot of people ask what we do, who we are, and obviously what we are not is major medical. A lot of people will say, I think the number one question I get often is, hey, I have major medical, I think I'm all set. But obviously, and I'm sure you've heard all the presentations, with the new healthcare system, everyone has copays and deductibles. When I started this business, there were some companies and municipalities that literally didn't have copays and deductibles. And if you've been around a while, I'm sure you remember those days. Well, those days are long gone. So now, as copays and deductibles go up and up, obviously AFLAC has grown exponentially as well, because that's what we do. We fill in that gap for the copays and deductibles, and there's various ways we can do it with various plans. You know, everything from a $50 copay to a $1,000 deductible, we can help you and customize based on your situation. Everyone's situation is different. That's why it's important that, you know, in the old days, I'd say, if we sit down with you, or at least talk to you over the phone, but now maybe we can do it via Zoom directly, you know, if you are interested in signing up. But it's important. It's kind of like when you sit down with your doctor will say, what is wrong with you? What is your situation? Are you married? Do you have children? They want to know a little bit about you, and that's what we want to do, because obviously a 22-year-old young man, if you will, may have different needs than a 60-year-old woman. So it's important that we sit down with you, or nowadays via Zoom, we're on the phone, and figure out what your situation is, because I don't want you getting plans that don't make sense for you. And that's why we're here, is to be consultants, as they say. Sorry about that. Again, we're all new at this. I never used to do PowerPoints. I used to always just kind of do it off the top of my head. But this is kind of good for you because you're learning via video. So people, don't realize this, but you're going to have daily living expenses still, obviously. And it's no more evident than now as we see people not working. Gas, house, food, how are you going to cover anything, transportation? And that's where we come in, because again, we give you the cash and you can do whatever you want with it. So if you miss work, or again, you have an injury, or even your spouse, we will give you the cash that you can use any way that you need. Let's see, the next one here is, sorry, I got a little technical difficulty here. Sorry about that. Okay. Did we lose you? Am I still there?
I can hear you.
You can see me, but there's no, let's see what I can do here. Well, we'll just continue. We're all learning. It's funny. I used to, I'm actually not new to this format. I actually used to host a radio show years ago. I used to be in real estate, and so you have to kind of improvise sometimes. As well as I used to do a cable show, a sports cable show. So anyway, again, what we do is we give you cash if you get sick or hurt. I'm just trying to see if I can dig this right back up here again. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Can you folks see that now? Yes, can someone nod if you see it? No?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, great. How the employees get paid. You still have loans, savings get depleted, we're going to give you the cash for that. According to a recent Harvard study, most bankruptcies are, why? Because of a health issue. So 60% of all US bankruptcies are from medical bills. And it's funny or not funny, but when you see a fundraiser now, you see a lot of them, especially those that are on Facebook or some of the social media, and they're doing a fundraiser, and it's usually for health issues. And the first thing you say is, well, they have health insurance. What's the issue? Well, again, obviously, not only co-pays and deductibles, but also, how are you going to cover time missed out of work, or other bills that may occur. So that's where we step in. And as you can see, most people had health insurance and they still had an issue. AFLAC products help protect employees' assets and income when he or she is sick or hurt. So we're basically asset protection. It's funny, I'll go over it in more detail, but some of our plans, when someone retires, they'll say, Mike, I'm all set. I just retired. I want to get rid of my plans and I don't need them. And then I say, wait a minute. Let's review this, because there's some issues where you may want to keep some of these plans because you just worked your whole life to save your money. And what happens if you have a major health event? You're still going to need to protect your retirement savings. So that's where we come in. Let's see here. AFLAC difference, like I mentioned, we are not major medical. We help with the daily living expenses and the out-of-pocket costs. And we pay regardless of major medical insurance. It's very important to know that we do not coordinate benefits. So all the money goes to you. I don't care if you have workers' comp, health insurance, other insurance, whatever it may be, we give you the cash regardless. So say you had an event and it was completely covered. We're still going to, say you had to go to the emergency room, we're still going to give you the cash regardless. And we just keep paying you each time, because the great thing is it's not a one and done situation. It's not, we don't raise rates. We don't cancel on you because you've used a plan too often. I don't know if anyone's ever used their homeowners or auto insurance. Actually, I have a business partner of mine who's also an AFLAC agent. and he uses homeowners insurance, and it was such a large claim that they actually canceled them. I mean, it's crazy, but we are not going to do that. You can keep the plans and use them as often as you need. One of the plans, we have an accident plan. Actually, people, there's someone out in Plymouth that used the plan 22 times in 1 year, and we still can cancel on them, and we kept paying them. So that's the beauty of our plans. Again, they're guaranteed renewable, so you can keep these plans. With the exception of the disability, you can keep them your entire life, which is great. You can cover your spouse and children on the plan. They're portable. Usually people in towns and cities, they usually stay with the companies, but they are portable to the point also that if you retire, they're portable. You would just pay with a check or credit card as well. The claims are paid directly to you, and the benefits pay regardless of any other insurance, like I mentioned. So that's a great feature as well. And let's see here. One of the plans that we have, the most popular plan, is our accident plan. Again, it covers emergency treatment, some specific injuries, like for instance, if you broke your hip, we'll give you $2,500. If you spent the night in the hospital, we'll give you $1,000. So it can really add up that way. Has an accidental death benefit. Unfortunately, if something like that occurs, so we throw in some free life insurance with the plan. Again, the hospitalization benefit is great because it's $1,000 and it's $250 a day every day thereafter. And then obviously, just too much to explain right here at this time, but it is our most popular plan. I always tell people, if you have children, I'm almost begging you to get the plan. I use it. I used it 4 times last year. I haven't used it yet this year, but knock on wood. But it's a plan that you will use, and you can keep using it as often as you need. Let's face it, a lot of times it's that pesky copay. And regardless of what it is, we're going to give you the cash. So it's a great plan. We also have short-term disability. Now, again, obviously, most people are aware of what disability is, but what we're going to do is we're going to give you a portion of your paycheck tax-free if you get hurt or injured, or sick. We're going to give you cash. We're going to give you a portion of your paycheck tax-free, which is important, so you get to keep the whole amount. You can cover yourself for 3 or 6 months on the plan. And the great thing is, with all our plans, it's guaranteed issue, so there are no health questions. If you want it, you got it. And again, if you need to file a claim, it's very facile. You just literally can go to aflac.com and file a claim, and boom, press the button. And as long as you have the documentation that proves that you were hurt or sick, we're going to give you the cash. And we also pay lump sum. So if you're out for 2 months, we'll pay you the entire 2 months up front, which is no other company can say that. And again, it's just like all other plans, it's paid regardless of any insurance you have. In the municipality world, I understand, obviously I deal with the town of Plymouth, the largest account. A lot of people have a lot of sick days accrued. Does not matter. You can still collect on our disability plan, regardless of what else you're receiving. I'm glad I brought water with me because, wow, hold on one second, excuse me. Okay, so our cancer plan, so very important plan. Again, this is going back to that 22-year-old young man versus the 60-year-old woman. Obviously, a 22-year-old man, maybe I tell him to get the accident plan. Very important. As we get older, now we start thinking about cancer. Again, the #1 cause of bankruptcy is health-related events. The #1 cause is cancer. Bottom line is we flood you with cash the second you're diagnosed with cancer. We start with a check that you determine based on what you're looking for, but it could be $10,000, $7,500, whatever you need. And then we pay you throughout the whole process: hospitalization, radiation, chemotherapy, ambulance, transportation, surgical benefits. The average claim that I've seen is around $29,000 when all said and done. And we keep paying you. The important thing is a lot of people realize you keep working a lot of times when you have cancer. People go to work. They go to maybe Dana-Farber on Thursday nights. People love to work, as we can see. People that aren't working now, that they're frustrated because they love to work. We're still going to pay you regardless. You don't have to miss work. But we stay with you through the whole process. I have people that are in their 3rd year. And before I started here, I never realized this, but they're in their 3rd year of treatment and they're still getting paid from us. And I see it on the claims every morning. I wake up, I check the claims, and I'm like, oh, someone just got another $600. That's great. And that's what we're there for. So you're not paying out of pocket and then end up in a bankruptcy situation. So it's a great plan. Highly recommend it. Your children are covered for free, and you can keep. This is one of those plans that I would say keep your entire life, because you don't want to be 68 and you're retired, and then you're receiving bills. or out-of-pocket expenses like travel or takeout food because you can't cook. So just a wonderful plan, very inexpensive. I mean, all the plans are, start at $5 a week. I mean, and they don't change. That's the thing, we don't change rates. So it's a wonderful plan. Hospital confinement is becoming, I'm just checking my time, becoming more important. As we've seen with the coronavirus, obviously, getting back to that, you are covered under COVID-19 for any of our plans, just so you know. So if you end up in the hospital because of something like that, you'd be covered. We're getting a lot of requests for this plan now because obviously it's in their mind. We can start with a $500 or $1,000 check if you're admitted into the hospital. And then there are different levels where you can get all sorts of different payments from, even just a quick stay, which is maybe a couple hours, will still give you cash. But again, you budget what you feel you want to pay per week, and we can come up with something for you. Again, I think this has become more and more important than ever before. This is also very popular. I don't know the audience out there, I can't really see, but also, if anyone's thinking of having a child, the disability plan would help as well as the hospital plan, because you're going to be in the hospital for a couple of days. So you might as well get the hospital plan. But now with the new concerns over COVID-19, I think this is going to become more and more popular because, again, I'm not into scare tactics, but I mean, it's just reality. Obviously, we hear every day, hospital, hospital, hospital. So that's another great plan. And again, that is age banded, but it starts as low as $3, $4 a week. I think if you're in your 50s, I think it's still low at like $7 a week. And again, you can cover your spouse and children on that as well. It's another going to be a very popular plan. We also have specified health, very simple, because I know I'm running out of time and I want to open up to any questions. Specified health, very simple: heart attack, stroke, end stage renal, any of the critical illnesses, including Lyme disease, which is popular up here, unfortunately. Obviously, Lyme, Connecticut is where it all started. We can cover you with check of $5,000, $2,000 for Lyme disease, and it's actually can be a rider. And depending on your age, it's literally less than $1 a week for that plan. So just another great benefit on top of. We also have life insurance. Again, I'm just going to go over that really quickly. Whole and term, if you're interested in getting something that you can keep, that you own. Again, all these plans are owned by you, even though they're payroll deducted. Lump sum critical illness, very similar to the specified disease. Very simple. It's a lump sum payout. And again, we have this plan that's $5,000 when one of these critical illnesses occurs, and there are no health questions. So if you've ever had any worries about that, I'd recommend getting that. I did want to thank you. Again, this is new to me as far as the PowerPoint. I usually do a presentation in front of people. I'm looking at the time. So I'm a little early. Oops. Does anyone have any questions? I mean, I can ramble on.
Yeah.
I can get pretty boring.
Yeah.
Does anyone?
If anyone has any questions, you can send them through the chat feature. You can also, there's a green yes button if you want to click that, and we can unmute your mic, and you can ask Michael any questions you may have.
So while you were typing or thinking of a question, again, one of the biggest question I usually get is, and I kind of touched on it, is, why do I need this? And it's funny, when I started, I actually had trouble myself. Why do I need this? But then you come to realization again, you have health insurance, but there are other payouts that you don't think about, whether it's a copay deductible, but also those expenses, like for instance, day out of work because you had to bring your child or your husband or spouse to emergency room, or, it can be the little things. Well, again, the takeout food, and all of a sudden, if it's a serious event, you can't cook, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh boy, I do need this extra money. And the great thing is you can do what you want with the money. I mean, I've had people call me and say, Mike, I just got a check for $2,000, and I didn't have an expense. What do I do with this money? I said, do what you want with the money. You can go on a little vacation if you want. That's the great thing about the plan, and the opportunity to get them through the township of Bridgewater. The rates are extremely inexpensive because you're obviously getting it through the town. If you went online right now and try to get them, a lot of the plans you can't get, like the disability, and then the other plans are literally double or sometimes even triple the cost. So it's just a great opportunity to jump on board this year. And again, you can keep the plans as long as you want. you can cancel. We're not, you're not locked into a contract. So I'm just a big fan of it. And I've had my AFLAC for 13 years now since I started. So anyone have any questions at all?
We do have one question that came in chat. Could you give us the best number and email address to contact you?
Sure. Yep. So my phone number is 508. Look at this. I came prepared. 259. Let's see if we can. Oh, it's upside down.
Upside down.
Oh, you know what? It's yeah, you can't. Anyway,
I think
was a good.
if you can give the information and then I will send it out again to everyone.
I just thought this was a great idea. It's 508-259-1701. And you can even text me. A lot of people, that seems to be the biggest form now, is texting. And then my email is Michael, Michael _ Tortolani, which you can see my name there, TORTOLANI, at US, like United States, .AFLAC, AFLAC.com. Michael Tortolani at US.AFLAC.com. And again, I'm more than available during these times. I think that's important to know. You know, even though I'm working out of my house right now, you know, I pick up the phone, I respond right away. And again, we have a team, which is just the greatest. I started this in the fall. I actually have a team of 4 people in Florida. Like I said, that if you need something, if you need to, you know, take your husband off a plan, or you have a claim question or whatever, I'm always there for you. But this admin team will literally get right back to you. So it's just a great, I've been so glad that I started that. Any other questions at all?
I think that's all the questions we had. We have a couple of people that want, that will be forwarding some information. We have time for one last question. So the question is, how far back can you file a claim?
Great question. So I'm assuming you're talking about a current policy holder. Obviously, you can't file. In other words, if you make these plans effective July 1st, you can't file a claim from today. Obviously, it'd have to be going forward. But once you have the plan, that's a great question. There is no time limit. What will happen sometimes is I'll do a presentation, and someone will listen in from 3 years ago. They're like, you know what? You just reminded me. I never got my wellness $75 wellness benefit on my cancer plan. I said, there's no time limit. You can file away. I think the longest I had 5 or 6 years. I'd gone to an account that I took over, and I said, let's get you paid. So there's no time limit on claims. Great question.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who has additional questions, again, we will get the information to Michael. The plan becomes effective July 1st, right? I have a brief slide that I want to show you quickly. Let's see. So today begins the town's open enrollment period. And I'll start there. You can see my screen. Begins today. It goes through Friday, May 15th. So if you're going to be signing up for any of the benefits, including this wonderful AFLAC policy, you'd have to do it during this period, and it would become effective on July 1st. We want to remind employees that the open enrollment period is the only time that you can sign up and make changes to your voluntary benefit coverage, unless you have a qualifying event.
Can you hear me still?
And no enrollment forms will be accepted after May 15th. We also would like you to know that if you have questions, information was sent out to all employees through our newsletter that you should have received in your emails. You can contact us at hr@bridgewaterma.org. You can contact us via our office phone is 508-697-0791, or via our temporary cell number 774-380-0073. And we gave you a kind of grid of things if you're going to be filling out enrollment forms and have some questions about changes. You can direct that to HR, and if you want more information about specific plan questions, you'd go to our vendors like Michael. With that, we'd like to thank Michael for joining us today and sharing such valuable information with us. And I'd like to thank each of you, our employees and retirees, for joining us for this special presentation. Again, this information will be on our new human resource webpage later today. And with that, I will conclude this virtual benefits fair session. Thank you all.